church recounts for us this morning this awful terrorist activity of King Herod. And yet, the significance of what has been proclaimed would be lost if we didn't read about John's struggle. He's in prison, and he knows that he'll be judged. And disciples go to John and report it to him concerning all these things. And John, calling two of his disciples to him, sent them to Jesus, saying, "Are you the one coming, or do we look for another?" When the men had come to him, they said, "John the Baptist has sent us to you, saying, 'Are you the one coming, or do we look for another?' And that very hour he cured many of infirmities, afflictions, evil spirits, and many blind he gave sight." Jesus answered and said to them, sent to the two disciples of John now, "Go and tell John the things you have seen and heard, that the blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the poor have the gospel preached to them, and blessed is he who is not offended because of me." So John hears the good news. John is encouraged by what he hears, but he's still traumatized. He wants to know, are you the one? Am I going to give my life? Am I going to be martyred for the Messiah? Are you the one? And Jesus sends back the two disciples of John and says, "Look at what I'm doing." So as we struggle, as we face even terrorism, because it is alive and well in this world. We just saw what happened in Afghanistan, 20 years of war, and now our soldiers are being killed because there is evil in the world. Herod exemplifies that evil in his heart, succumbs to worldly pressure, and denounces God and murders the prophet of God, knowing that he would be raised. He thought he was Jesus. He thought that it was John that was raised from the dead. So as we confront evil, let us take to heart the dead are raised, the lame are walking, the blind see, lepers are cleansed, and nothing can come between us and the love of God. So no matter what happens in this world, let us lift up the memory of John the Baptist. You know, it never ceases to amaze me how the church does not sanitize her scriptures. I would think perhaps public schools today would censor such a reading, but the church does not do that. The church doesn't sanitize our history. We lift up and we even commemorate and celebrate this awful event, the beheading of John the Baptist, because he is the greatest among men, as Jesus says. The greatest of women, of course, is the Panagia, but Jesus himself sees John, his cousin, as the greatest born of women. So let us take courage. Let us even rejoice in this treachery, because God has overcome every form of evil, every manifestation of evil until the last day. Through the prayers of John the Baptist, beheaded for our salvation, and as we commemorate his offering this day, may our Lord have mercy on us and save us.